Hey, it's Richie and Wes.
He's Richie.
And he's Wes.
And this is our show.
Trolling social media and asking our sex question of the week.
Oh my god, what a week.
What a week indeed. How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling much better.
Okay.
I'm healing up from my little procedure that I had on my back that I have now a giant scar.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so massive.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not only the incision, but then where I had the stitches. But I'm using Mederma. It's like a little cream gel.
I've heard of that before.
And scar tape.
Yep, that's right.
You lay on top of it. I've just been leaving that shit on for like a day or two. And then switch it out. You're supposed to be able to reuse it.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know that I just want to wash off and reuse.
Right? That always weirds me out. I don't know why. I'm sure it's been tested to show that you can and everything, but give me another one.
No, it's very sweet. One of my clients brought me, because she had a procedure done and used some scar tape and I guess was satisfied with the end result, but still had some left. So she brought me some today.
See,
and that shit's not cheap.
It's so good to have friends.
It is.
That will help you out.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's how I even knew I had this damn tumor in my back to begin with, because a friend of mine told me I had a lump in my back.
See?
So.
It's always good to count on friends. They can help you with your healing wounds.
And, you know, I'm not too worried about the whole scarring situation. First of all, I can't even see it. And then, second of all, I think as long as the redness kind of goes away.
Yeah. You'll be all right. You got this. You got this. You got this.
The scars are cool, right?
Yeah. And it's all the way in your back.
I was going to see it.
Oh, what?
Who's going to see it might have been something Adam Levine was thinking to himself.
I forgot we haven't had a show since this whole thing dropped.
Yes. We are now in the full-on meme stage.
Oh, yes.
Of people photoshopping themselves into the conversation.
Which is amazing. I love it.
Reaction
and all of his 13-year-old boy reactions. It really does read like a horny 13, 14-year-old.
This has all been in the last week.
Yes.
Like a week and a half, basically. Yeah, we didn't do a show last week.
Yeah, it has been a lot.
And then he came out and tried to deny this thing even happened.
He's a mess. I knew there were more people coming forward when, by his initial statement, it was so vague. Like, I made some poor decisions in my life. I'm on, some shit's about to go down. He's about to have some leaked text messages and woke up the next morning on my unprecedented hiatus and bam.
Deny or minimize. Right? Oh, it didn't happen that way. It wasn't that bad. I didn't really do
Unfortunate decisions.
I made mistakes.
Well, you know who's great? People have been confusing Adam Levine with Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect, calling him a horrible husband and a horrible person. And he had...
Can you imagine waking up?
Right, like, what the fuck is happening?
1,000 DMs of fucking psychos.
He had the best response ever, though. He wrote an Instagram post. Oh, because the most disgusting thing about this is that the girl that came forward, her name was Summer. And then he wanted to name the baby Summer, which is just like, that's just fucking weird.
It's like, I want to name my baby after you.
So...
What?
He responded. He said, just want to post this and say that Chloe Bridges and I are doing great and going strong. I'm not Adam Levine. He's a different guy and a worse singer. However, we are naming our future baby Summer. So that we do have in common. I was all straight white man shade. I live for it.
People are out of
He is a different guy and a worse singer.
Well, he is on Broadway, so...
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
So, I mean, good for him for taking it in stride instead of going off the deep end like some other people might have been. Leave me alone. Leave me and my family. It's like, he's just making a joke out of it. I think that's the best way to go in these things.
What else are you going to do?
Right.
You know, like, get a sense of humor.
Speaking of infidelity, please tell me you've heard about the Try Guys saga today.
I completely forgot that the Try Guys existed.
Same.
Let alone were a brand that endures to this day.
Yes, they do, apparently.
Okay.
But Ned from there has been caught being a very, very bad boy.
And now he's out of the group?
Yes.
Like, why does that even fucking matter?
It's, I guess, because it happened with a coworker.
Oh.
Something, yeah. There was a workplace relationship at the studio with someone that runs a food channel there. I don't know if she's married or not. But, yes. And I guess fans noticed that in their last 3 videos, he wasn't there. And photo shoots that he was present for, he's been cropped out of, and they've just been showing just the 3 of them, not the 4, but they haven't addressed anything yet. And then it came out today that someone saw him and this girl kissing at an event and went to the presses, was like, I'm pretty sure that this is the Try Guys guy, and he's very much married, and this is not his wife. And then they pinpointed that it was someone else that works, so they have their own studio that has other channels filming stuff. And yeah, so he said that he's just going to focus on what's important. He made some bad decisions, a typical fucking excuse.
Mm-hmm. He basically had the exact same...
Literally. Only he made sure to say that he participated in a very consensual but inappropriate workplace relationship.
Okay.
So at least he's thrown away the rumors, or if there were any rumors that...
Yeah.
He did something like, extremely, extremely bad. Not that that's not bad enough, but at least it's the 2 of them.
Some kind of Try Guys power dynamic. Oh,
and he's over here playing like he's the happily married man, and here are my kids, and don't believe everything you see on social media, people. He and his wife were just doing stupid TikTok dances last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why I don't post people that I'm dating half the time. I'm not trying to paint some pretty picture for y'all to say #couple goals after. I don't care. I'm keeping my shit private.
I'm happy to see it when someone puts it in their story or
cute little moments.
It's right. I find
but when it's overkill, I get suspicious as fuck.
I'm always thinking like,
ain't nobody that happy all the time.
That is, they're doing a lot of,
Like Mariah Carey said, I'm going to paraphrase this. She shaded a certain person with a formerly large behind who has had some body reductions lately, who seems to be returning back to her white woman form, oddly enough. Mariah once said in an interview, she's like, look, I'm not going to go ahead and pretend to be like, oh my God, me and Nick are so happy. When he walked in the door, I fell on the floor. She's like, no, we make each other mad sometimes. And that's the reality of situations. And that's also why my relationships last more than 72 days.
Well,
Mariah's never wrong.
I mean, I don't know that I would pick her on, like, relationship advice per se.
But hers have been long-lasting, though.
Long-lasting?
Yeah, she's only had a couple of them.
That's true.
Can't fault for that.
That's true.
Two beautiful babies. Thank God she divorced Nick Cannon, though, with the football team of children he has now.
God, right?
Oh. Yeah. Talk about smart business decision right there. Like, fuck this.
Do you think they all get together, like all in the Cannon's kids?
The kids, yeah. Mariah's like, them babies can go and see their siblings. I am not about to go mingle with all those baby mamas. Like, no. She's busy.
Yeah, that's always interesting to me. I come from a household where my father was in a previous marriage and had a child from that previous marriage. But then married my mom, and then the child from the previous marriage, my older brother, came to live with us.
Yeah.
So I always wonder about that because I was,
well, especially when you have like 11 other fucking siblings at this point.
You're talking about 11 other siblings, but
with every single different mom on the planet.
When it's that sort of level of money and celebrity and what have you, like, ooh, Mariah's kids are coming over,
right? at least they're twins. They can play with each other. They don't want to mingle with those other kids. They don't have to.
Oh God, what an interesting family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. And it was literally today where I was like, wow, that's right, the Try Guys. I don't know, that feels so 2010s to
It
me.
really does. But I guess they're thriving. Good for them.
Okay.
But, oh my God, did you see this Cardi B mess?
No.
Oh my God, this is literally the trending topic on main Twitter, not even like the For You section,
No.
for a full day yesterday.
I was busy.
Oh yeah, it was great. So, this person who was on Love and Hip Hop with her, mind you, she's been on that show in eons at this point,
Yeah.
decided to go after her, like, on Twitter, unprovoked, seemingly.
Okay.
And you know, Cardi's not one to mince words or not reply.
Right.
Cardi reamed this bitch through a fucking mud, and she kept trying and trying and trying. And Cardi was like, "Oh, you mean like your sex tape that you had with your man, and you're on tape asking him to say I love you, and all he said was eat this dick, bitch, and still never ever said I love you throughout the rest of the sex tape?"
Oh my. Wow. She
Then
took notes on that.
Then she went in on Cardi's sister. She said, "Look, bitch, don't play about my fucking sister." She was like, "Your sister must be doing something." And she's like, "Your mom must be rolling in the grave, but she saw your sex tape." I was like, "Oh,
Girl, okay, we get it.
Cardi went in." And then Nicki Minaj seemingly
Who's she
decided,
popping in for?
"Thank you. You know she can't save it from anyone's mess." She popped in and said she's still ugly out of nowhere. During this whole exchange, the best thing about this is that it was like when someone's trying to get into the middle of your argument, like in person, and you're like, "You step over there, like you're not involved in this." She said, "Don't start with the arms." Because everyone's been making fun of Nicki Minaj's arms recently. She says, "Don't start arms." And kept it moving with the other girl. It was like the internet equivalent of putting your finger up saying, "This is not your fight. Step over there. I got this." And Nicki didn't reply after that. No. But the best thing is she's like, "Well, this is fun." She's all, "But I'm going to go pick up my kids from school, something that you'd never ever do. And then we have dance class after that. So I'll talk to you when we're done with that." And she went off the grid. And she literally posted a video of her picking up her daughter from school right before. She's like, "Okay, well, that was fun. But yeah, I really do have mom things to do because I'm a mom first." So that lady can keep on tweeting whenever she's going to tweet.
Okay, but also, since we did miss the week, we also missed the week where Cardi admitted to paying someone to beat the shit out of some bitch who her husband had an affair with.
Right, yeah.
Girl.
Like,
I can't. Why do I even know all this stuff?
I will say it's smarter than fucking OJ.
And number two, well, sure, but it's like, what is it even her fault for?
Right.
Why is she getting beat up?
Exactly.
And she admitted that she did it. So, yeah.
She's a work in progress.
Don't forget.
But she also did admit that her going to court fucked over a big deal for her today.
Okay, good.
She said, "Guys," she's like, "I just missed out on a huge opportunity because of my stupid, quick decisions that I made." So I had a multi-million-dollar Call of Duty deal on the plate, and I had to back out of that because I had court. So next time you guys want to be quick with your temper and quick with your words or quick with anything else, think twice.
So John Boyega has a new movie coming out and making a lot of people mad with things that he's been saying, and I love every minute of it.
I love getting people mad for dumb shit. Like, you already know it's dumb.
Never stopped since he got famous from Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. As he shouldn't.
And when he said that he only wants to date black women, he said it because of the way that he views and, looks at black women, not in a degrading way towards anyone else, not that he doesn't like
anyone else,
simply that his preference would be to date black women.
There you go. I mean, and good for him for explaining it that way.
And he also, I saw a tweet that he did too, that was saying that exact same thing. It was like, you can have a preference for something,
Yeah, as long as you're not excluding everything else, then that's fine.
Or degrading anyone else.
Yes.
Which he did not do.
No.
That's not what he was saying. He's not saying, I don't like this. He's saying, this is what I like.
This is what I like. Exactly. And there you go.
It's wild. You gotta explain. Explain a lot to people these days.
Well, you know what?
Although I do feel like people are really focused on not understanding. Like that, I really feel like people are.
Oh my God! Yes.
Just absolutely.
Just out of the sake of having an argument.
Mm-hmm. That's why I block people. I block people.
Oh, it's great.
I have blocked over 1,000 people on Twitter, maybe.
I mean,
more.
And good.
I don't need it. I don't need to debate with someone. I don't need. I'm not here for you to jump on some shit and try to promote whatever the fuck it is you're trying to.
Yeah.
I don't need your propaganda bullshit. I don't need to fight you. I don't need to interact with someone who went online looking for a fight with a stranger.
And that's exactly what the trolls do.
I don't need that.
With an anime fucking profile picture.
I don't need that shit.
And then attacking your looks. That's how it always goes as well.
Right.
When they have nothing else intelligent to say, they will take a screenshot of a picture of you and then try to use that to weaponize you, even though there's nothing wrong with you.
Which
and they don't even post their picture.
Yeah, impossible because we're gorgeous.
Just ridiculous, I swear. Speaking of gorgeous, though, real quick. You know what I love is some good behind the scenes tea, especially when it's all settled.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So there's a YouTuber, I forget her name. Sorry guys. It's Jessica something. I should have taken notes on her name. But she's a photographer. And she has been rewatching like old top model seasons.
Yeah.
And her audience will suggest episodes to watch and blah 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 blah. But lately she's been having some of the girls on her show, which has been really interesting. And they've been sharing some behind the scenes tea. Some of the stuff has just been rehashed or whatever, and they share their experiences on the show and all this stuff. But one was Lisa D'Amato, who was like the wild child of the group way back in the day. She was chilling, and she was explaining Frankenbites, which if you don't know what that is when they will take something you said and splice it and use it in a certain manner to kind of paint a narrative about you.
Or even with editing a podcast, I can clip shit and make it sound.
Oh yeah,
like you said.
We can make it sound like we're having a full blown fight right now.
If we wanted to.
If we have the time.
Or I can literally just clip out like 90 seconds of shit, and it all just you can manipulate stuff so easily. Oh,
yeah, and so
especially if you're looking at a reality show, if their mouth isn't moving.
Oh yeah, they're showing a back shot of them walking away or something.
They're probably not saying that at that time.
Nope.
It's not even in the shot. Yeah.
So they were like, she was saying like, yeah, like why did you get the villain edit? And she's like, oh, that's easy. I can explain this to you. She was like, I came in cocky. She's like, because what no one knew at the time. She's like, I've been modeling since I was 12.
Oh.
She's like, I got in the show when I was like 20 or 21. She's like, I had literally lived in Milan. I had been in the model house already. I had done like H&M commercials. I had done Gap ads. She's like, I was a seasoned model. She's all, but there wasn't a name attached to me. I was like that girl in that commercial. I wasn't like a Tyra or a Naomi. I wasn't. No one knew what my name was. It's just like, oh, I know this commercial. Oh, that model's pretty. This is it. I want a name for myself. And it seemed at the time, reality TV was growing. She's like, and I hadn't watched the show before, but I did see some people on the show go on and do things. So I was like, oh, okay, this could be a cool platform for me to really get my name out there the way that I need to be, name recognized. So she's like, I came in and they're asking me all these questions and they're like, do you think you're going to win? She's like, oh, of course I'm going to win. I'm going to do way better than all these girls. She's like, and then they clipped it at that. She's all, and that's the first episode.
Yeah.
She's all, what they didn't share is that I said, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna do better than all these girls because I've already had the experience that they're just now coming into. They've never been on a set before. They've never flown anywhere before. They've never gone on a go-see before. They've never lived in a model house before. I've lived this already.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna do great in this competition. So then it starts off with that. And that's all fine and dandy. That happens all across the reality TV board. What I found fascinating, not surprising, but fascinating, and the biggest bomb that she dropped was that there's always an episode where Tyra's the photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Tyra ain't the photographer. And she actually didn't even figure this out herself. And she was there on set because she said she took this gorgeous picture of her. And it was like she was like frowning and like it's really intense and black and white. And she said she has it hanging up in her room as like a trophy. Like, yeah, Tyra put me through all this shit, but at least that's the connection we had. I was in this picture. She took this picture. She's like, bitch, I was rewatching the show, and there was a guy behind her.
No.
All the time. And I'm thinking he's taking behind the scene, like, you know, like shots and stuff. And she's like, I realized, because there were very minimal people in the room, that at that angle and where he was at and me and my facial expression, that Tyra's hand was down and he was taking the picture. So he took this picture, not her. And she's like, also, I noticed, she's like, because I do photography and stuff as well. She was like, her camera, like, brand kept changing between takes.
Oh my God. It's like when Madonna plays guitar, but there's
oh my God
pit, you know.
I was like, oh my God, I'm all this. That was a great accidental bombshell. I love the story behind it. She's like, I've had this gorgeous picture of me hanging up, thinking it was like some trophy of like I survived. Lisa D'Amato.
Oh, Lisa D'Amato.
Yes, but I was cracking the fuck up, and it was funny because she was on All Stars. I guess they did an All Stars edition. I haven't watched the show in years. But Jessica, the YouTuber, was actually watching, and I watched her recaps and whatnot, and she was like, I think that this girl knows, like, she's calling out production right now on camera, and they don't like it. Because at one point, they were having her jump, and they're doing this, like, Grecian shoot or whatever, and she says, I don't want to do that again. And she's like, why? She's like, I've jumped the last 2 challenges. If I jump, I think you're going to use that negatively for me on panel. And then Jay was like, but why would you think we would do that? Blah, 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 blah. And she was like, I just think you're going to use it against me. And so it was great because the YouTuber called this out, and she was like, was that what happened, or was I just making that up? She was like, no, absolutely not. She's all, some of these girls came back, and I was all, bitch, you've done this before. Why are you not learning these, like, all these production tricks? She's all, they'd had me jump 2 challenges in a row.
Yeah.
Why am I going to jump again so they can pick that picture of me and say, oh, I'm doing this because I'm athletic, and it's always the same thing, and you're playing it safe. So she said, no, I'm not going to jump because you're going to use this against me.
I'm not jumping.
And she said, that's exactly why I said it. And they were not happy with that. She's like, but these girls were like saying things on camera and whatnot that she's like, I really took a step back, and I'm like, you guys didn't learn from the first time? Like, right. I'm not about to play these games anymore. She's like, for me, it was redemption for them painting me as this horrible, wicked, evil person, you know. She's like, which it wasn't me. She's like, yeah, I said things, but they like made it seem a certain way. I was just competitive as I always am. But she's like, I'm not going to go round 2 and do the same shit. No, you're not. The production's not getting the best of me this time.
Oh my God, girl. Well, we have said this a few times on the show.
What?
And we do talk about ugly people, but they're ugly on the inside.
Exactly.
However, we don't talk about aesthetics because it always comes back around lately. This happened with Chadwick Boseman when people were calling him cancer, and it turned out he had fucking cancer.
Yep.
And it is now happening again with Zac Efron, who I'm sure you remember all of the rumors that he had plastic surgery, he did this, he did that, which, by the way, either he was literally hatched by Disney and sketched along the way, or he just was born genetically perfect, because he has been on camera since he was like 14 years old. His jaw, yes, looked different for a time period. Because he broke his motherfucking jaw.
Yeah.
When he slipped and fell outside of his house.
And then found his jaw hanging off the bone. Oh.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. And I'm happy I can't. Because,
he could have died.
That's fucking
Like, he
scary.
literally, with that much, if he had, like, fallen back and got knocked out, he easily could have choked on his own.
Oh, yeah.
Totally could have died. Crazy! And yet, everyone is making... That shit pisses me off so much. Also, why would someone like Zac Efron get plastic surgery? Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you?
And if he did, who cares?
Also, yes, who cares? But it's not... Look, if it didn't happen before, do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Or, like I said, he's just had very good Disney etching along the way.
Then there you go.
Which is totally possible. Who knows? But, yeah. Y'all need to stop.
I just can't. Mm-mm. Oh my God. So I took the plunge today and I saw Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh my God. This movie that has had the best/worst PR campaign in the history of...
For our random Tuesday, the theater was pretty packed. I will say that.
Really?
Yeah. The movie was entertaining. It was predictable
was
for
it
me.
The kind of movie that makes you want to go to a movie because it's a movie?
I mean, it was really pretty. It was very pretty. It was shot in Palm Springs, which that kind of took me out of it just because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I recognize that street. Hold on, I know that block. But it's supposed to be very much 50s,
right?
And that's,
I think that always makes it fun, though.
Yeah, but also it was supposed to be like this secret community in the desert, so that makes sense as well. But the whole story, I kind of knew what was going on for the most part, or along the lines of the ending. I always say they could have scaled back like 20 minutes. They could have added 5 minutes to the ending. It ended very abruptly, and it's like, okay, I want to see what happens.
You know what? That is always how those art fair type fucking movies end. And it's like, wait, where's Act 5?
It ended in the most like elitist art movie ever. It ends, fades to black, and then you hear a gasp of someone's waking up. I'm like, oh my God, if you don't show me what the fuck happened when this bitch fucking wakes up right now, I swear to God.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh. But I mean, overall, it was entertaining.
Sorry to ruin the ending of the movie for you.
I mean, that wasn't. I mean, that really didn't ruin anything like that happened
because it has no meaning at all.
But
yeah, those are the kind of movies where I'm glad we have the pass to go see the
exactly, and I'm happy that it cost me nothing at all, and I perfectly timed it. I was 30 minutes.
Is such a good deal at AMC.
Yes.
$25 a month.
With perks.
To see, you get popcorn.
My medium popcorn was upgraded to a large. My drink was free today. It was great. I was a half hour late because I had the leisure of doing that because it didn't cost me any money. And I walked in right as Nicole Kidman was finishing her fucking AMC dialogue. And
I was going to say half hour was perfect.
Yep, and the company logo came on and I got in my seat and I watched the movie. I was pleasantly surprised by what's his ass from One Direction's acting. It was actually very decent.
I think he's talented.
I'm very much surprised at his acting capabilities. Miss Flo, as Olivia calls her, was amazing, and she obviously sold the show.
Well, yeah,
but it was definitely entertaining. But it also was
and well-trained actress.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Do you know that she's fucking British too? Because I didn't know. I also didn't know that Henry Cavill was British until last week.
British?
Literally, no one's American anymore. Let's just move to London, like we talked about a couple months ago.
So, would you recommend seeing it?
I would. It was entertaining. I just kind of, I guess, where this was going to go along the lines of what was happening behind the scenes. But yeah, good performances. Nice little twists. Well, there was one big twist actually that wasn't even like with one of the main characters that I really loved. I mean, the whole crowd cheered for. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I give it a strong C+B minus.
I would recommend / warn sensitive viewers about Dahmer.
Oh God,
Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. which is fucked up.
This is how I know that I'm getting old, is because I thought everyone knew about this. I'm like, oh no, there's a whole generation that just doesn't
They
know.
don't even know because it happened in the 90s, like
Yeah.
early 90s. I mean, we were children, babies.
We were sperm.
But
we heard it from inside the ball sack, echoing loud and clear.
Yes, this motherfucker went around killing people,
Yes.
chopping up bodies.
Yeah, specifically gay men of color, which that part, when I was growing up, never seemed focused on. It just seemed people he was killing.
It wasn't focused on because there were other victims, but
Okay.
his main spree, where he found he could succeed the most, was in the...
Yeah, because I just remember never even hearing about anyone being gay, never a focus of people of color. I mean, for obvious reasons, probably.
Right.
But for that time.
At the time, that was not at all mentioned.
Mm-mm.
The victims were mentioned. You could obviously see that they were various people of color.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like... The way that it's being presented now is clearly looking through the lens of he had so many opportunities essentially to get caught, where because of the neighborhood that he resided in, and because of the victims that he was pursuing, he was able to get away with it, even though there were a few times where like police were literally inside his apartment
and gave him
where
the
there were
benefit of the
dead
doubt.
bodies.
Like,
oh, it's crazy.
I mean, I would say it blows my mind, but it really doesn't blow my mind.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It fucking doesn't.
It just really doesn't.
And on one hand, you, especially because, like, some of it's a little, like Ryan Murphy, I swear to God, I fucking love Ryan Murphy.
Someone said his obsession with gay trauma is a little bit disturbing.
It is, because some of it is also, like, weirdly sensual, and it's just very strange. Like, I don't need to get into the mindset of Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I know he wanted to make sex zombies out of his victims. I don't need to see him, like, caressing their thighs.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
This is weird, but also...
I haven't watched it. I don't plan
But also,
on it.
that's the shit that makes your skin crawl.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff...
And that is the reality of it.
Wow, there was someone really this fucking fucked up who did all this.
And still are people. But, and we have an exclusive actually, and I will not give this person's name, but someone was brave enough to share with me randomly over Twitter, because there was someone that said something, because there are people romanticizing the situation and saying, oh my God, he was hot, I would have went with him too, blah, 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 because people are fucking idiots to this day. And like to just say shit online.
Fetishizing serial killers, especially white serial killers.
Yep, of course. And this person said, this is disgusting, like, he killed one of my friends. Like...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry you have to read this. And he was like, it's okay. He's like, he's a fucking piece of shit. You know, it's just like, I'm happy the story's being told. And I was like... Or he said, like, something like, at least people are becoming aware of it, like, this generation or whatever. And so I was like, hey, just, respectfully so. You don't have to, answer this whatsoever. You can totally decline, I've just always been curious about this because I always wonder how friends and families of the victims view these types of things being rehashed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I was like...
The true crime podcast.
Yeah. I'm like, do you view it as exploitation? Does it give you a sense of peace knowing that this story is being told in the correct way? Or do you think it's just a money grab? Like, what are your thoughts? And again, you don't have to respond to me.
Yeah.
I've just always been curious. I've never met anyone at all that has ever been close to a victim of something that large of a scale.
Especially someone so famous.
Yeah. So he was like, he's like, I feel vindicated knowing that my friend's story is being told, knowing that it's not getting glossed over, knowing that, I still can't look at that man's face when it pops up. It doesn't bother me when it's Evan Peterson or whatever his name is. Because he's an actor portraying someone, but seeing that man's face still puts me into a rage. He's all, but for me personally, I like that the story is being told. He's like, I'm not going to watch it. He's all, but from what I've read, it's being told in painting him as the monster he was, and that the cops didn't do things, and that he could have been stopped a lot sooner than he was. He's like, so.
Oh, he could have been stopped.
Yeah.
Way earlier. Had police done any of their due diligence, and it really. Definitely, I think, points that out very well.
Yeah.
In the fact that, y'all, if you watch any true crime stuff, you listen to all these true crime podcasts, how fucking inept are the goddamn police? I know there are some detectives who truly, their heart is in it. They are trying to bring justice to the victims of these crimes, etc. But holy fucking shit, for the most part, it's the Benny Hill show.
Yeah.
And it does show that. It also, through Niecy Nash, who, if she doesn't get a fucking Emmy for this, I would be
She deserves... Talk about range of this woman. And again, I don't plan on seeing it, but I've seen clips. And I've seen Claws. And she's amazing.
She's sort of an amalgamation of characters. Like, the character she plays never actually met face-to-face with Jeffrey Dahmer. They didn't live directly next door to each other. But... So the story is a little conflated in its telling. It's not completely accurate. But she is essentially an amalgamation of, if you were around this neighborhood, you saw this person. If you went to these clubs, you saw this person. That's why I'm sure the guy you were talking to probably knew exactly who he was when he saw him.
Yeah, he said it was clumsiness on all parts, and it was because of him literally being I wouldn't even say conventionally attractive, but just a normal run-of-the-mill white man. And all these victims were people of color for the most part, so why even look into it? Despite people screaming from the rooftops that something's fucking going on here. I mean, on the flip side of that, someone did come out saying that they are disgusted by it, that he killed his brother, and that they don't want to see their sister's testimony. She was a famous black woman that went on to really lay into his ass, as she fucking should have. That he doesn't want to see some actress play her on screen and rehash all of this shit. So you have both sides. So that was interesting to hear directly from a source.
Yes, and I will, from what I've read, is all of the testimony from the actors portraying victims' families is literally word for word what is in the courtroom, exactly what was said. So that is not as well. Some of it is dramatized, and some of it is a little, I think, over the top and maybe unnecessary. The victims, I think, and their families do definitely get several episodes more towards the end.
Yeah.
Where their voices are really getting to be heard.
Okay.
But it does really beg that question.
Is Netflix giving any money to these fucking victims' families?
They better be.
That's my question, because...
They better be. They better be setting up some kind of fund.
Seriously, because that's some bullshit, especially since it's now the, top-grossing Netflix special ever or some bullshit. You better cut a fucking check.
And I don't mean to make everything sound racist. I'm the white one.
Yes, please remember this. We've had this situation before.
Something I've noticed, being a true crime watcher, someone who is always fascinated with the stuff, is the fascination, especially in this country. Who do we know as famous serial killers? All white men. There are more than 20 black serial killers. In fact, the most prolific serial killer, his last name is Smith, I forget what his first name is a black man who was, again, let go many times by the police because he didn't fit the profile of a serial killer.
It boggles my fucking mind.
It doesn't, though, because think about who are even the quote-unquote good cops, right? They're these, average white dudes in their 30s and 40s. Who is their biggest nemesis? Average white dudes in their 30s and 40s. And so the serial killers that we have found, who
Mhm.
are average white dudes in their 30s and 40s, because most of them are. Ted Bundy was
Yeah.
not hot.
No.
He was not. Evan Peters is way more attractive
Yes.
than Jeffrey Dahmer.
100.
So, whenever they're faced with that sort of nemesis, right? Oh,
Mhm.
God, they're so smart. They can outsmart the police.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is when it's other types of criminals, the way that they're treated and the way that they're thought of is very differently than being some sort of criminal masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100, yeah. Like, oh, dumb
So
crook.
people like Jeffrey Dahmer are very elevated in the sense of, no, this guy, and I think what this series does show is this guy was just a fucking sick motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Who does not deserve any accolades
No.
for being a genius criminal or twisted mind or...
Oh, yeah, no.
No.
Someone said, everyone keeps saying that, oh my God, he was so out of control. It's like, no, he was
No.
very much in control.
He was in control. He was just fucked up.
Yes, he
He
didn't
was
give a
just
shit
fucked
about
up.
anyone.
Mm-mm.
And that's the worst type of fucking person.
Yeah, so I think his intelligence is way exaggerated, and I feel like the series definitely... Evan Peters, I hope he has a good therapist.
Oh, yeah,
I
he
do, 'cause
has
he
been...
plays crazy
and
so well.
all at the helm of Ryan Murphy.
Ooh, does he play
Good
crazy so well?
Lord.
And he really plays Jeffrey almost as though he's maybe a little mentally challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is just, his performance is so slow
Okay.
and methodic. So maybe he's also thinking about it a lot, but just the way that he portrays him is really just pathetic and sad.
Uh-huh.
Which is what he deserves, because I think that's exactly the kind of human
That's what it
being that he
is.
was. He was pathetic and sad,
Ugh,
gross, basic fucking ass.
so disgusting.
For real.
Ugh. Yeah, Netflix cut that fucking check to
I hope they do.
every single
compensate those
one
victims.
of the victims' families.
And no shade here, although I do not watch this fucking show, but people love it. Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
Season
Same.
24, 22 years into the history of this game, Taylor Hale is the first black woman to ever win $1 million.
And good for fucking her.
She's a fan favorite character
Yes.
as well. Usually some asshole wins because he fucks over everybody else in the house. Glad to see that.
Someone said between John, her, Niecy Nash, and someone else, that racists are having a really, really bad September. and good for that.
Yes.
Good for that.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our sponsors and our show notes and save some money by using our coupon codes. Until next time,
Goodbye.
bye.